Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to read a book, but it is right here and you don't know which one, and it will be Abracadabra. 1, 2, 3. This one is, and his name is Pulling Back the Curtain on Magic. So, let's get started with our story. Pulling Back the Curtain on Magic by Sheila Sweeny Higginson. And today, in part 1, we are going to read chapter 1 and chapter 2. Chapter 1. Pay attention. Your eyes are focused on the man in the black suit. He waves a silk scarf in the air and then stuffs it into his hat. Then he taps the hat 3 times with his magic wand. Alakazam! The scarf disappears, and a snow-white dove flies out of the hat. The crowd oohs and ahs. It looks like magic, but it's time to stop and take a closer look. In the pages of this book, you'll find out what's really going on. It's not magic at all. It's science. Magicians have been thrilling people with their tricks since the time of the ancient Greeks and Romans, and probably even before that. How can a trick be science, you might wonder? It's not as if the magician mixed up a batch of chemicals that instantly turned the scarf into a dove. An illusion is something that looks different from what it really is. And magic is all about illusion. The magician's scarf only appeared to transform into a living creature. Science explains why the audience believes the trick. Scientists are just starting to study magic seriously. Now you can study the science of magic too. The art and science of magic relates to distraction and misdirection. It's a balancing act. If you want to be a successful magician, you have to use distracting actions, such as waving your right hand and telling your audience to watch your right hand very closely. These large actions keep your audience from noticing smaller actions, such as how you were secretly dropping a coin into your pocket with your left hand at the same time. To understand why that works, you need to know about the human brain. The human brain is an amazing organ. The largest part of the brain is the cerebrum. It controls all the things you do voluntarily, such as pushing the X button on your video game remote when you want to start a new game. The cerebrum also contains all your memory, and it gives you the power to think. The parietal, frontal, occipital, and temporal lobes are all part of the cerebrum. Your brain has other parts too, such as the cerebellum, which controls movement and coordination. And there's also your brainstem, which is in charge of all the actions that keep your body alive, such as breathing air and digesting food. This is the parietal lobe. Which is in charge of language and touch. This is the frontal lobe, which is in charge of the judgment and memory. This is the occipital lobe. Its job is of sight. This is the temporal lobe. Its job is hearing, comprehending sounds and pitches. This is the cerebellum. Its job is balance and coordination. And this is the brainstem. And its job is for breathing, for the heart rate, for the temperature, and many other important functions. Your brain works so well because it is made up of 85 billion neurons. Neurons are microscopic cells. Cells so small they are visible only through a microscope. The neurons transmit information to and from different parts of your body. Neurons are found throughout your nervous system, which is made up of your brain, your spinal cord, and all the nerves that branch out through your body. These neurons have been working hard since before you were even born. So here's the brain, here's the central nervous system from here to here, here, and here, and here, and here is the peripheral nervous system. It contains sensory receptors, sensory neurons, and motor neurons. And this is the spinal cord. As you've grown, your body has been creating connections between the neurons. These connections help the information flow freely. The more you do things over and over, the smoother the pathways in your brain become. Things you do every day, such as brushing your teeth, become so automatic. You don't even have to think about them anymore. Magicians have, in a way, been studying the human brain for thousands of years. They know that when your brain is used to doing things a certain way, it's a lot easier to trick it. For example, if you hear a loud noise, you automatically turn to look in that direction. Magicians can use this information to hide something while you are distracted and looking the other way. Scientists have learned from magicians too. They now know that when the brain focuses its attention on one thing, it ignores what's happening on the sidelines. Your brain is amazing, but it's not perfect. You may think you know everything that's going on around you, but your brain isn't really able to focus its attention on more than one thing at once. Magicians know that, and they also know that sudden and unusual changes in your environment will grab your focus. Magicians know a lot about how a person's attention span works. Do you? Imagine that you're watching your favorite television show when a loud crack of thunder blows, and then there's a flash of lightning. What happened to your attention? Do you think your eyes would still be focused on the TV, or would you look outside the window when you saw the lightning? Would you hear what the actor said when the thunder boomed? Your attention works like a reflex. It's distracted by sudden, unusual changes in the environment. It steers your perception the same way a camera focuses on one image and can zoom in on that image but doesn't see anything outside the frame. A good magician knows just how to lead someone's attention so the person sees only what the magician wants them to see. Chapter 2: The Principles of Magic. Misdirection. This is the most basic tool that every successful magician needs in this toolbox. In his toolbox. Misdirection leads the audience's attention away from a secret move. For example, a magician holds a ball up and tells the audience to look at it. While holding the ball up, the magician might slip another ball into his or her own pocket. No one in the audience notices that happening. Why? There are special neurons in your brain called mirror neurons. When you watch a person doing something, mirror neurons help you see what that person is feeling while they are performing that action. And these mirror neurons lead to people having joint attention, which is when people all pay attention to the same thing, the palm. In this basic trick, the magician secretly holds an object in a hand that you think is empty. Magicians practice squeezing small items, such as coins, very tightly in their palms. Then the magician quickly puts his hand out, face down, so that it looks completely open. But it really isn't. Your brain is so used to thinking that there can be anything in an open hand that you believe there's nothing there, without seeing for sure that there isn't something there. The switch. A magician secretly exchanges two objects. In one classic card trick, a magician asks a volunteer to pick a card. Then the magician switches another card he had already chosen with the one the volunteer selected. So it appears that the magician is reading the volunteer's mind. To do this trick, the magician has to practice moving the cards with a lot of motion. Without a lot of motion. And misdirecting his volunteer's attention while doing the trick. The ditch. A magician secretly gets rid of an object, such as dropping a coin into your pocket. Again, the magician needs to practice the movements of the trick so that the drop is effortless, while using misdirection to make you focus on something else. The steal and load. A magician secretly grabs and moves an object. An object, such as a scarf, is hidden somewhere out of the audience's view. For example, in the magician's pocket, using a bit of misdirection, the magician reaches into his pocket and quietly steals the scarf, then loads it into his hand to make it seem as though it magically appeared. Scientists have also learned that when we see something out of the ordinary, it sticks in our memories. Think about it. If your classmate came to school in her pajamas a year later, you probably remember exactly what she'd worn. You probably wouldn't remember what any of your other classmates wore on that day, though. Our brains also prefer things that are funny. In fact, we like humor so much that it distracts us from unfunny things that happen at the same time. A magician might use fake fish in his act and say, pick a card, instead of pick a card. He knows that if he can get the audience to laugh, it will be the perfect time to make a secret move. And that's all. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, click to subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell so you can watch more videos. And don't miss part 2. And on part 2, there will be a pop quiz to see how much you learned. I'm going to disappear. Abracadabra. 1, 2, 3.